Hello, everybody. How are you? So I'm just moving things around a little bit. I've got a brand new camera. Mark bought a new one. I love the camera prices nowadays. So he bought me a new camera because he found that, whoops, start streaming. Or stop streaming. Oh, I am live. Okay, I thought for one moment, but let me know, somebody, that you can see me, that I'm here, and I am very happy to be here. I like this camera angle. I like the versatility of this camera. So can someone hear me? So just let me know. It has been a whirlwind 2 weeks, let me tell you. But it has been wonderful. It ended on such a happy note. And I have lots of photos to show you, a couple little videos. It was just such a happy thing. Hi, everyone can see me? Yes, good. Thank you, Miss Joe. Looking good. Okay, thank you, Marcia. Oh, it's so good to see our Marcia. So, I decided, I was so tired. My son left, I guess, 2 hours ago with the grandchildren, and I said, I want to do the show. Oh, good. Thanks, Mark. I like the new camera. I really do. In fact, you can see, whoop, there, the bruise from giving blood, but that's a story for later. But anyway, it is so good to see you. So I have been working on Oscar the Octopus. I finished my daughter's hanky, and there is a really cute twist to this. So I can't wait to share that with you. Let me just bring this up just a touch. So I think that's pretty good. So hello. So last week I told you that I had my procedure. I love the Star Wars technology because they go in with a laser and break up the stones and then go in with a basket and pull out the pieces, and it's fascinating. The only real complaint that I had was the dumb stent. And I mean, it was a dumb stent. It's a very thin tube, plastic tube, but boy, your body is not overly happy. I'm trying to raise, oh, that's right. This one raises by turning. It might, well, I can't raise it now. I wanted to raise it just a touch more. I'll work on that later. So, the stent is just over a foot long, and it has little curly cues on each end so it can stay where it's put. So I was very happy to get that out. And that was the only glitch, is every time you move around, you feel that stent. Your body doesn't like it, so you have to take medicine so that your bladder doesn't go into spasms, because the bladder is very sensitive. And but they took that out a week after. I have been doing great. Now, the only thing that bothered me, I had kind of a rough day. And I'm just telling you this because, we all have a rough day at one point or another. And so I was so happy because they had told me once they get the stones out, then I'm good to go, all clear on the cancer front, good to go. Well, they took the stones out, and I hadn't seen the results of the stones. The stones weren't calcium. They were uric acid, which then means, so I'm sitting there, he comes in, and I'm all excited about getting the stent out and starting my new life. And he says, we need to find out why you made these stones. He said, we're going to do some blood work and check that, and then we're going to do another CT scan in about 3 months. And I'm like, I am so done with doctors and procedures, and and I'm a big believer in medicine. Yeah. But I'm so done being messed with. I want to leave me alone. So I got immediately depressed. But I got to tell you this funny thing. They first had to do an x-ray, which I wasn't expecting. So Mark went with me, stood in the back of the x-ray room in a safe place. They just did an x-ray of my abdomen, just just double check, where is that stent? And then he went with me in the room to have the systolic cystoscopy scopy. And so they have this big monitor so that they can check and watch as the cystoscope goes in. And then you see this little, like, little alligator clip thing grabbing the stent, and voila, it's gone. And I'm laying there, on this half table, so that they can get to this. And they just used a little local anesthesia, really good. And there's this head behind me, and it's Mark. And he's watching everything on that monitor. He said it was really cool. And in fact, I was kind of there going, oh, I'm in my happy place. I'm only half watching the screen. And he's telling me all about it. I got so tickled. So, yeah, I am done. Oh, you had stent. Oh, gee, renal artery. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a pain. It's just a pain. So I said, in the long run, it's a lot preferable than the whole kidney cancer surgery I had 5 years ago. Do you realize it's been 5 years? That feels so good. 5 years. So now, so anyway, I came home and I was all depressed because, I was supposed to be done, and so I could move on with my life and focus on keep losing weight and getting some exercise, and I felt like, oh, not again. So, hi, Miss Lisa. So that night I was really depressed, but luckily I checked my blood work. It's all fine. Everything is normal. And my kidney function test was the highest it's ever been. So I just have to make sure I drink enough. And that has always been my problem. I don't like to eat until later in the afternoon, and I tend to forget to drink until later in the afternoon. Not good. So I've had some good advice from family and friends, and I have just, in fact, my daughter said, name your kidney, my one last kidney, name her and just say, Martha needs a drink. And maybe that will help. But, oh, thank you, Bonnie. I tell you what, I was so depressed. I thought, is there something else wrong now? But the only thing that was out of normal, my sodium was a little low. It always is because I'm on metformin for type 2 diabetes. And because I have type 2 diabetes, my glucose was a little higher than normal. Okay. And it's what it usually is. And I have an A1C in good range. So everything was fine. And I said, okay. And Mark said, yeah, they're just making sure, they always want to know what did this. So I can rest a little easy. They probably will do a C scan in 3 months and just make sure that there aren't any signs of kidney stones growing. If I stay hydrated, hopefully they won't, because that's why they wanted to get all the other ones out. As long as there's any calculus in the kidney, it's real easy for things to glom onto it. So enough about health, but I had a wonderful, relaxing 2 weeks. And I have a lot of exercising to do because at this age, if you sit still too much, you lose it. And yesterday at the wedding, I was walking all around, going up 4 flights of stairs. By the end of the evening, my back was killing me. But usually, if I just sleep good, I'm all recharged the next day. Both Mark and I, though, he had to wheeled 4 large bags of ice and a cooler and all of that. And you have a glass of water with me. Good. Oh, thank you. Oh, hi, Mayor. And yes, keeping that thing handy and using it. So I love this. It's a stainless steel thing with a comfort grip. And I he told me 80 ounces. I need to measure this, but I make sure I have at least 3 of these a day. I might want to bump it to 4. And my daughter said at Dollar Tree they have sugar-free flavor enhancers for putting in water that they use. And I also use cranberry juice, um, no sugar added, just pure cranberry juice, and or lemonade with no sugar added. So, you make adjustments. But like I say, well, like a wise person always told me, if you wake up on the right side of the dirt, it's a good day. So, no more complaining for Deb, because, oh, I can do it. So, oh, I just thought, you know what? I was going to show you Oscar. I don't really have much to show you. I always like to have things lined up so I can show you things. Mark made this cute little thing in Miss Lisa's basket that I keep here. And I have, whoops, a few rose petals that have been falling off the flowers. These are some peonies that she marked off the reserved seating with. So, of course, I brought mine home. Then both my daughters made the flowers. They went to Trader Joe's. If you don't know, Trader Joe's is the #1 seller of flowers and floral material in the country. The #1. Becky said she got there at opening. There were already 15 people in line. And you know what? Most of them are florists. Yes, florists buy their flowers from Trader Joe's. A lot of them do. So this is what the new thing, they made these, and it's called a pocket flower for men instead of trying to pin something on their suit. Is that the coolest thing? So that was for Mark. And then, now this is another cool idea. You know those slap it wrist bands? That is the new way to wear a wrist corsage if you are the mother-in-law. And so they made these. It took hours for them to make all the flowers. So, thought I would show you those. And this pocket idea. Oh my gosh, you just go around and put them in their suit pocket. That is so cool. So, and these, I love peonies. I love them, even if they are the silky whatever kind. I will find a vase and put them in a guest room, and then I don't have to worry about them. If I were famous or rich, I would have fresh flowers all over the house. But the problem is, when you're not, even if you buy some flowers, you've got to maintain them. And I just don't have time. I'm too busy creating. So I will show you my octopus. This is probably going to be a short show. I'm exhausted. Mark and we got home before 10. And we were so wound up, we didn't fall asleep till at least 3:30. And that's what the clocks changed. So it would have been 2:30, but it was 3:30. And we rolled out of bed this morning. He rolled out earlier than me, and I rolled out between 9:30 and 10, because I think it was closer to 10. And I'm still tired. So, you have a black thumb? See, that's the thing. Oh, your father used to grow them. That is wonderful. But yeah, she said that they have the little packets of, that people like to put in their water. Because you know what? Water's the best thing to drink, but it gets boring, 80 ounces a day, please. So anyway, and I know it's the best thing, and I got to do it. And okay, so you got to do what you got to do. So the problem is you end up paying the price for decisions you made earlier in life. And now that I'm retired, I have plenty of time to think about those decisions. So, okay, let's go straight to the wedding. Um, I just I my daughter, this is her second marriage and her best marriage, and she is 47 this year, right now, and he's just a couple years older, and they met through a dating app and went out on a date. Now, Andy told me, I didn't know this, that evidently Becky had to cancel the second date because she came down with something, and evidently she sent a doctor's note. Because I think she really liked Andy and she didn't want him to think that she was bugging off. That was the cutest thing that I heard last night at the wedding. So, but Becky has 2 children, and that family has come together beautifully. So, this was a very much beloved wedding, anticipated wedding, hoped for, dreamt of, and it was one of those that just made everyone happy. They had it at a place in Kernersville, North Carolina, which is not far from me, and it's called Kerner's Folly. Now it's spelled Kor, but it has 2 of the little umlauts over the O, which then turns it into Kerner's. And I think that's where they got the name Kernersville, but they spell it Kernersville a little easier for Americans to pronounce. But this house was a rich man's folly. And if you're not sure what a folly is, it's a house just built for whimsy. It's not built to be serious. And so the first floor room, all the rooms are on different levels. There's stairs to everything. But, like, when you walk up, there's a ladies' parlor that's 6 feet below the ground level, and everything it's almost like an upside down house in some respects, but I'm going to show you their, I'm gonna bring up this this folder first, because I want to show you this amazing place. Okay, let me bring this photo up and then bring it over. And this is up in the eaves. And he did it as a family theater room. Okay, now in this area, I can see this to me looks like it was a bed at one point. It might have been a prop. But look at all the hand painted ceilings. Then this unusual triangular window and this wonderful arched door set with a little Juliet balcony right off the edge. This is the officiant. She was wonderful. Really, really appreciated her. So this just gives you a little bit of flavor of this house. And Becky said when they saw it, they thought, this is it. We have to get married here. And it's kind of if you're a Hobbit fan or if you're a Cinderella fan, it kind of works its way in between both. So I think this is cool. So now I'm going to close that out and I'm going to go back to the beginning of the pre-wedding. And let's see. Here is their invitation. Save the date for Andy and Becky, March 7th, 2006. All right. Now, let's see. I go back. Here's a little video of Becky's sister, my second daughter, Katie, helping Becky get dressed. Let me see. Okay. I think I'll just be able to go from 1 to 1 now. This is before the wedding. This is the reception area. Here is my son right here. My 2 grandsons right here, Russell and Donnie, and my son-in-law, David. And so they're setting everything up for the reception later. And even 5-year-old Donnie was helping to unroll the table runners and going around and straightening them and make sure they looked right. So cute. There's Donnie, and he has a way of looking at you, and you know he's looking right into your soul. So sweet, sweet kid. All right, here's Becky's wedding gown. Now, let me tell you, she called this the Amazon wedding. I hate to say her secret, but I'm just so impressed. This wedding gown was $125. That's amazing. So she is the queen for finding the best deal on the wedding. This is her daughter, Charlie, and she was the best bro. So she's got a suit on, cute as can be. Here's my second daughter, Katie. This is the little girl, Kerner girl's bedroom, and it's very small with a very high ceiling, and it has upholstered walls and beautiful trim and the furniture and everything, and you can't touch the furniture, you can't sit on anything yet. There are folding chairs, that's it. And then down here on the floor is my daughter's wedding bouquet, and Becky is sitting down here getting ready. And Charlie is the one in cosmetology school, so she did her mom's hair. Very exciting. Okay. This came out so blurry, but I thought it was so sweet. This is my daughter sitting on the floor surrounded by all the things that she has to do. She was so organized. Oh, this is Charlie. Charlie and her brother both were in suits that matched their new stepfathers, and they decided to get aviator glasses because they were going to be so cool. So when I ever get a copy of those of their posed photos, I'll show you. But what a cool idea to really everything was about the family. It wasn't just about Becky and Andy, it was the family. And oh, I love it. So there is that. And guess what? This is the hanky I worked on during my last week of recovery, and I don't know if I guess I can bring it up a little bit. I did some ribbon peonies and roses right around here. Then here it says Becky and Andy, March 7th, 2026. And then I picked up, remember that day that I was showing you, I showed you the antique lace I wanted to use? Well, I did use it. So there's mine. But guess what else? Is this Becky loved or what? My second daughter, Katie, did this one. And I love it. She said she went online and found out how do I embroider peonies. And she did that star method where you put the spokes out and then you go over and under and go around all the spokes. She did. Let me see if I can get in closer. Whoops. She did a magnificent job on these flowers. And she did a whole bunch of French knots. I didn't. Oh my gosh, French knots are hard. And look at this. And then this, she did her own improvising to do some ivy. Is that just the coolest? So Becky felt very loved. So what Becky did was take both of these hankies and pin them to her flower arrangement. And because she said she didn't want to lose any of them. So it just means there was a lot of love to go around. There really was. Okay, so here is Becky getting in her dress, and her hair is just lovely. Her daughter did an amazing job with her hair. And there she is. And the back of the dress closes over satin with the tie. You tighten the ties all the way down. It was beautiful, beautiful. Okay. And there they are. Katie is doing the tying to Becky's wedding gown. And, oh, here's Katie coming into the reception room. So she had a lot of things to do to get ready. And here was the cake table. They had cakes. They had, Becky is allergic to dairy, so they had a vegan cake for the bride and groom. Then they had cupcakes for the people who were allergic to peanut allergies. We did have some, and gluten-free because my granddaughter has celiac disease. And then so this is the modern age. Welcome to the modern age. And then they had 3 beautiful cakes for the everyday guest. So it was really cute. Really, really cute. And they got, oh, let me see if I can show you this. I'm not sure I'll be able to. No, it's in a film. I was going to show you the cake topper. They got a cake topper from the 1940s. I think that's so cool. This is the stage in that room that upstairs attic room with all the angled painted ceilings. And so, and in that house, you cannot have water unless it's in a bottle. You cannot have live flowers. You cannot have it to decorate with. You cannot have live candles because they have to be so careful. And looking at that place, oh, you could very easily set it on fire, and that would be awful. That would be quite a loss. But so she got all of these battery candles, and she made all of these decorations. These were wreaths with she put flowers on them and the tendrils. And then we took the wreaths down to the reception and put them in the center of the table and did in a little arrangement, just put these candles in the center. So really nice, really nice. And okay, that's got that again. Let me see. Let me see if I got them all. I think I did. So that was the pre-wedding. Now, if you're getting bored, just wave your hand and I'll show it anyway. So here is, this starts the ceremony. Oh, aren't they had these bags set up to be luminarias, and they had the little tea candles, battery operated, that actually fluctuated as if it was a real candle. Loved them. So here's that room I showed you and the officiant, who was wonderful. Here's a look. There's my son is standing up right back here. He did the music and the sound and the DJ work because he's a professional musician. And so I took a picture showing this side. This house is something else. I couldn't live there. Too many steps, too many odd angles, but it is fun to go see. There was like a carved bar. Now, I guess when it was first built, this would have been a bar of gas for gas to get to lighting fixtures. Because remember, this was built in the 1880s, I believe. So gas was the lighting of choice then. Yes, here you see that bar, and you can just imagine that this would have been a gas fixture. They've since taken that part out. But isn't this lovely? And Becky did this. She found this out on an YouTube, that she got this. I guess they use them like in a classroom to display things, like it would, like I use a temporary design wall kind of thing, but it's nicer. And then they took and used a pool noodle and slid it down the long way, and they pushed the flowers and stuff into the pool noodle. That way you just take the pool noodle, put it on top of the rolling cart. Bam, there you go. And I love the lights down behind the sheer curtains. And it is so neat. You can buy all that stuff inexpensively. This is Andy's mother, Mary, and this is Mary's daughter. This is Mark right here. But then here's a son of Mary's right there. A daughter, there was another son and a grandson there, and another son and his wife. So this was a lovely group. This daughter right here traveled from Italy. So, wow, isn't that great? So that's Miss Mary. And these are some of the guests. This is Mary's sister. So there were some cousins involved. And these are the photographers. They're teachers who are now doing this wedding photography on the side. Very good. Very thorough. I was so impressed. Okay. So, and these are the stairs that you come up into this space, and everything creaks. So it's like, oh. So here are Becky and Andy up on the stage. This is Becky's son, now their son, and his name is Evan. He's the one that's in the marching band, and here is Charlie here, and I just loved the okay. Charlie was referred to as the best dude, and Evan was referred to as oh gosh, what the best bro. So, oh gosh, it was just cute. So Evan stood up for Becky and Charlie stood up for Andy. And I just think that's wonderful. And there's the officiant. And they wrote their own vows. I can't tell you what they said because I was crying. I was trying so hard to listen and remember every word, but it's so sweet. Then Becky had her sister, Katie, come read a reading, and then had Andy's sister did another reading, and they were beautiful poems, beautiful. And is that it? Yeah, I went through them pretty fast. And then, let me see, let me pull this one back up. And then Mark and I went and handed Becky Andy's ring so that she could put it on his finger when that part came. And then Mark helped Mary, who has some ability, mobility problems, helped Mary up to the stage so she could hand Andy his rings. It was just the sweetest thing. Everyone was so, hi, Debbie. Everyone, thank you. Everyone was so happy. And it was low key, relaxing, celebratory. And my daughter, oh my gosh, she should go into this for a living. She's so organized. She was sitting on the, she was, let me come back to you. She was sitting on the floor because she had enough time before she had to get dressed for the wedding. She was folding tissues into quarters so that everyone in the wedding party and close family could have their folded tissue because she knew everybody would be crying. I mean, she just thought of everything. I was amazed. I was amazed. And I tell you what, it made me exhausted to watch her. It's a lot of work. So here is, I'm going to show you now the reception. And the first couple's dance. Okay, let me bring that over. Let me, oops, come on. Whoops. Oh, that's right. I have to go back over to the desktop. All right, let me start this over again. I forget the song they danced to. I'm so sorry. But here they are. Andy and Becky dancing. Isn't that beautiful? So I thought I would show you that. It's just lovely. And there was a lot of emotions going on, let me tell you. Isn't that sweet? I just love that. We love Andy. He is such a good guy. Oh, this is Charlie came up now and did a speech, and it was absolutely powerfully lovely. And it all echoed the power of love. And isn't that what so much is about? Whether it's with a dear friend, your children, what? Oh, thank you. And there they are dancing. And it was just so cute. They just spontaneously got up to dance. And let's see, it was both families and a friend. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to have these in good order, but it's hard. They were having so much fun, I had to get up and try to dance with them. Now watch, my grandsons are going to come up. Watch this. Is that the cutest? Oh my gosh. Isn't that the cutest? I mean, what a happy wedding. Hi, Michelle the Quilter. Thank you. And Tony's here. Tony Morrison's here. Oh, thank you. And then Andy came up. The groom came up. So we just had a whole lot of everybody up there. I thought it was so cute. All right, let's see what else. Yes, the boys in my quilt. Very, very good. And here are two pictures. I guess Mark took these. I'm not sure. Or my daughter Katie. And I thought, when did that woman get old? Oh, that's me. So I've got this picture of me. And this is the outfit I wore for my wedding. And she said, wear what makes you happy. And I thought, well, that definitely makes me happy. I'm not sure what this is. Oh, remember I told you that Evan unfortunately turned his head the other way, but they all have on their Blue Man Group or whatever glasses. They're cool guys. So, oh, I thought that's so cute. But what a way to bond, huh? That's why Andy is just a treasure, and we're all so happy. They both deserve each other because they're the best. They're both givers. Well, how wonderful is that? Sometimes you have to wait a long time to get your true love, but it's worth the wait. So, it's so good to see everybody here. And now we're going to go, they're eating their cake. This is the cake with the bride and groom on top. That's the vegan cake. And it all went off seamlessly. Everyone was taken care of and it didn't have to be a big deal. It was lovely. So, oh, okay. Let me stop this first. Let me see. Well, I can go ahead and tell you. Becky, unbeknownst to Mark and I, said, my parents got married recently and they didn't have a first dance. And they got my brother to play the song that we used at our wedding. And oh my gosh, Mark and I got up and did our first dance. I couldn't believe it. So just thoughtful, loving, warm. Can't believe it. And then this is put in for humor because Becky and Andy decided they wanted their wedding cake and they said, we're going to go back to the hotel and we're just going to chow down because we won't even get hungry until after the whole wedding's done. And so they said, Katie, guard our cake. Well, my Katie daughter, she's a fierce guard of the gate. And she wrote, Becky and Andy's cake. Do not eat unless you are Becky or Andy. And if that wouldn't scare you, I tell you. So Mark and my song, I forgot the name of Becky's song, but Mark and my song was the John Legend song that I love all of you. And it was the one that he sang for his wife. And I just loved that song so much. So, okay. Now, let's see what else. That was the last one for that. And then to show you today, my son got on the road 12:30 to 1. He's got to drive 6 to 7 hours home. It's rainy, it's overcast, whatever, with the two little boys. Guess what he did? This man, even though he's my son, I can tell you he is the best dad I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. Look where he and the sons are right now. As tired as they all are, he said, I saw this place on the way. I might stop and have fun with them. And what he's doing is they were so well behaved at the wedding. They were at the venue for 4 hours. They're 5 and almost 7, and they were so wonderful and well behaved. So he wanted to give them a treat. He stopped them by an arcade. They're going to have fun. So isn't that cool? So I just thought that was what a nice way to end a lovely weekend. And the good news is they came and they stayed with us. So my son and his two boys. And Mark said, oh, I hope he gets a break this week. He never stopped moving one time. And he did. But we had such fun. We did a game and crafts. There were just snippets of time between the wedding. Hi, Mary. You don't worry. Oh, I bet you the time difference got you. But don't worry. You can watch the repeat. I definitely want you to be able to see that. But I'm glad you're all here. And that was the wedding. And so now I told Mark, I am only going to do what I want to do. I was able, even though I had the procedure stuff, luckily Mark was amazing. We cleaned this house top to bottom. And I felt good enough to do some setting up at the reception because I wanted to feel like I was doing something. So this week, Mark and I were just going to play. And I'm not sure what I'll do, but it's going to be, I know I'm going to do some polymer clay because I haven't done that since before Christmas, but we're going to play. And I hope you'll take some time this week to, I'm gonna hope you take some time this week and you play too. Let's call it second week of March playtime. And I think that would be great. So now I'm going to go to Oscar the Octopus. And I have had the best time. If you have to have any kind of surgery, if you have to have any time for surgery or anything, this is a perfect craft to do while you're recuperating. I decided what paint colors I was going to use, and I added the textile medium. I put them in those little cups not the ones that are attached. I like the separate ones that have the nice closing lids so they're airtight and they can't spill. And they're small because you really don't need much paint. And so I mixed the textile medium, mixed them up good, and had all the colors, took an egg carton, stuck all the little things in an egg carton. Then beside my favorite chair, my recliner, so I could rest, I had, in fact, I had this little jar that has a spill-proof lid, and I had my best well-used paintbrush, and I'll give you a hint. If you put the paintbrush, this used to be painted black. If you put the paintbrush into water that's above the ferrule, it will absorb the water and pop the paint off. So that's why but I love this brush. Once I wear them in, I just love them. So, let me get that in there. So I would sit in my recliner and I would decide what paint I was going to use. And I had a bunch of these little palettes. They're supposed to be disposable, but I'll use them until they start to break. And oh, neat. And so I put my paints that I want to use for the next set, and off I go. Then all you have to do to use them again is soak them in the sink overnight in warm water. They pop right off. So are you ready to see Oscar? He's almost done. So here is Oscar the Octopus. Here he is. The fold line is making it look like it's a different color, but that's just the fold line. So here he is. Now I have put about 10 coats of triple thick on his eye. And what I realized, I want to make the eye, I know this is silly, but I kind of want to make the eye puff out. Well, since I had quilted the eye, there is a little indentation, and I kept hoping that as I put the triple thick on, it would fill it in and give a little mound effect to the eye. Now, I probably could try some UV resin, but I really wanted to stick with this. So now, after looking at it, because I've put 10 coats at least on it, let me get the close-up camera, and then I can show you what I'm talking about. I love this OBS system. I told my son, thank goodness. Okay. All right. So here is, let me bring the light over. So here is the eye. And you see how it's got nice. And this stuff works beautifully on the painted fabric. It's nice and hard, but still flexible. But if you'll look, let me try to bend it so you can see. Right along here is an indentation. I wish I hadn't sewn it there, but I did. So what I'm going to do now is take the triple thick and a brush, and it dries. I do it probably once or twice a day, but I'm just going to put the triple thick into that indentation, because what I want this eyeball to look so real. And so I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to keep doing the indentation. A small opening with a pouch behind to hold the marble. What a good job. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, put something that kind of pushes. And I have taken my finger and kind of run back here too. So, but if I can get enough triple thick in there, I think it will work. But I like that marble idea. I might just try that, because I want someone, when they see it, to go, oh my gosh, that eye looks pretty realistic. So that is doing a pretty good job filling in that. But don't do it often or too much, because one I was worried about, if you put another coat on before that's fully dry, then the underlayer can't dry fully, and then you're going to have a problem, because it'll stay tacky, it won't be nice and hard. So you have to make sure to give it at least a half a day or a day. And now I came back and just did a little light touch, and I may put a little more on this, but I was trying to give the water a little bit of depth like that. And you know what? I would love to find some little sticky, clear, bubbly looking things and put maybe a row of bubbles up there. The little like jewels, and there'll be like a little mound. And if I can get some clear ones, that would be so cool. Now you can make bubbles yourself using white paint and a straw, and that makes a pretty good bubble. But I'll just show you what I did. I didn't plan out what I was doing. I just kind of went as I could. But I want to tell you, this is the most important thing. If you go to paint on dark fabric like this, make sure you take some white acrylic mixed with textile medium and paint the space first, okay? And one thing I wanted to tell you, let me show you this. Sometimes you get paint that will go in the wrong place, or it will kind of, see how this looks messy? Well, when you finish painting, you just take And I found the Sculpey is better than the Micron. And you just come in here and easily, whoops, sometimes that's a piece of thread that's kind of blocking it. But you just come in here and outline once you've painted, and it will make it much crisper again. So don't worry if your paint kind of gets glommed in the wrong place, because all you have to do is do this and then it will behave again. Now, I did have an area where a blob of paint was spilled. And I thought, what do I do there? Well, you won't believe what I did. In fact, let me find an area down here. Let's see if I can find this. All right. So I thought, how do I get that paint up? See this little tiny bit of paint? What you do is you can try first to scratch it with your fingernail. And look at that. A lot of that popped off. But then some of it does sink into the fabric. So if you carefully use a pin and you just kind of scratch the fabric, I usually go one way and then the other way. Okay, now watch this. Isn't that cool? So if you get paint, because what I worried about is a block fell on one of these places here, and that's between my fingernail and a pin. I was able to carefully just lightly scratch over the weave to free the paint up out of the weave, and there you go. So I always like telling you how to fix things, because I make mistakes often, and I feel like if I make a mistake, maybe you would too, and you could benefit from what I learned. So here is the last part. Oh, and I want to thank Mary. She gave me the idea of using silver paint for the suction cups, because I wanted to kind of have them a little slight translucency. And then I saw in one of the pictures somebody had put blue centers in the suction cup. And I thought that looks happy. So I did all of these. And now all I have to fill in is this block, or this piece, and this row, just these few little white ones here. So what I did this morning, I worked on it just a little bit, and I brought in some of my bronze colors. And this has set up a little bit, so I'm going to have to kind of work there we go. Once you break the skin, it's usually pretty easy. And this brush already had border on it, so it's good. It'll kind of soften up that paint that it started to set up. And so what I wanted to tell you is, by using the white paint, and I don't use a metallic white, I just use inexpensive white acrylic paint and textile medium. But when you seal it first with the white paint and textile medium, it makes it so much easier to paint the spaces later. Now you'll notice sometime when you're painting it, it'll kind of like rub thin or something. Hard to explain, but it's like it won't be a full shade of the color. So you sometimes have to come back and do a second coat. That's not a problem because it dries fast. So here I put some greens and up into some turquoises, and I was thinking of doing more of that to follow this. I'm trying to, so here are all my greens, even a little teal, and my gold. And let's see what I can do. I want to mix a little touch. Oops, better rinse my brush better. Sometimes I kind of get impatient. All right, so let me try a little bit of this and a little bit of this. And I'm going to come in here and do a little better job on this part. So, and just choose the brush to the size of this is supposed to kind of look like a mosaic tile design. So they're all divided, and don't worry, I can always come back later with the Sharpie and mark. And that's not cheating. That is not cheating. because whatever way helps you make your art, that's how you do it. So never ever, some people feel like if they can't do it perfect, they shouldn't be doing it. Well, that's not true at all. I mean, whoever says that, don't listen to them because they don't know how to have fun. And this is all about what makes your soul happy. If you're not happy, then don't do it. Find something else that really makes you happy. There are so many hobbies out there. There are so many amazing, and we don't like to listen to naysayers or critics, or they don't get a vote. Because you know what? You're your own person. You pay your own rent. You don't have to listen to anything else except what makes your heart happy. And especially if you are of an age, you have deserved it. You've done a lot in your life. Okay, so now I'm going to come into a little bit of green, and I'm going to just going to come in and make it a little darker. I like the colors to move between light and dark. It makes more interest, and that's one thing. With this one, instead of doing separate colors, I've really experimented with mixing the colors, meaning, okay, I'll give you an example here. I went from a deep red and kind of turned it a little purpley red. And then every row I kind of mixed them so that they kind of bled into the other. I wanted this to be a pretty deep purple, so I left a little red on the top of these and then put purple on the bottoms of these. And it just kind of helps the colors run. Did the same thing here with the orange, transitioning from this pinky purple to the orange, and by adding some of that color on the one above it. Then I went a darker orange and then faded to a lighter orange at the very bottom. I like this. Right here where I did this yellow, I added a little bit of some rosy coloring just with a dry brush to kind of, I wanted everything to play with everything else. If you look over here where I did this yellow border, I added a little blue on the bottom edge, this side edge of the yellow, and I added a little yellow to this side edge of the blue. And I'm having fun with that. That felt right this time. I don't really have a plan a lot of times when I do this. I just do what feels right. So now I want to get a little bit more gold and put it right here. And this is where I was telling you sometimes the paint, especially I think it's worse because you have the white paint down, but there are so many benefits to having the white paint, it's worth it. And these actually would be suction cups, but they're not facing in a way that you can tell that, so I'm just painting them however makes me happy. All right, so let me make sure these are colored in really well. Now what color am I going to make the next ones? I want to make something that bumps up. Well, I've got green. I've got a little bit of blue. Well, let me see. Bet you I could do a pretty turquoise. Let's see how this is going to look. So Becky and Andy are going to an island resort. They're going to enjoy themselves. They'll probably sleep the whole week. But I think that is wonderful. Okay. And, ooh, this one needs to be gray. Silver, I mean. So I'll have to wait and paint that silver. But I liked it, Mary, I liked your suggestion because silver is still a color, but it's very neutral. And I like that. So, now these are a little pale. So what I might do is try to activate some of this darker blue. Might have to, oh, maybe this one will let me. And just put a little, I'll have to probably wait and get some of that color upstairs. Because once they do dry, that's it. They're dry. But sometimes you can knock the skin off of them. Yeah. So now what I will do though is come in and get a little bit of this copper, a little bit of this gold, and see how I just keep dabbing it until I get almost a dry brush effect. And I'm going to come in here and over where these are up against the gold, I will do a light touch of, whoops, the wrong one, wrong one. That's what I love though about um, acrylics. They dry fast. They're pretty forgiving, but I'll put a little gold on this edge to kind of blend the two. And then I don't know what I'm going to put here, but I'll put something. I'll find what color is going to be next and put a little there and blend it. All right, so now what I'm going to do, let me make maybe a teal dark green. I always worry when I start mixing colors, but it's not a real big deal because if you think about it, if you don't like it, let it dry, paint right over it. It's not a big problem. I think I'm going to fill this one in too. But I've got to decide what I'm going to do with the last few. Because I really I did not, see how I add a little bit of this color to the one before it? So I find it just helps. And you just blend. But this is so much fun. It's almost like paint with number. The work for this comes with drawing the design on, going around and quilting, because remember, I quilted this all. Whoops, getting the camera range. I quilted this all first. I drew the pattern on, then I quilted it, and then started painting. Painting is the last part of this. But I'm hoping you get a chance to see how simple and easy it is. And that paint dries so quickly. I mean, it's just barely tacky. So I love it. I love it. All right. I hope that that gives you a hint and might encourage you. I did put on the website last week, I put, okay, let me turn off this light. There we go. I put, the drawing I used to size him up to this size. And I put it on our site, but if you would like a copy to help you make your own, then let me give you that, my email address. Send me an email and I will happily send it to you. Oh, thank you, Joe. Thank you. All right, now let's see. I am our time to quilt at gmail.com. Whoops. Nope, not comma, com. All right, so that's my email. Feel free to send me an email and I'll send this to you. The original was much smaller and you just use this technique and you can enlarge it. This is though, but Mary, I promise you, this is very easy. Take it step by step. And I'm worried now. The only thing I've got to make a decision. I'm not really worried, but see how much this ocean pops up above? I might come back and put a little line like I did up here. I quilted lines to show the movement of the water. So I might come back and do a line across here, maybe a line there. Anywhere there's too much water without anything to hold it because it's quite puffy. And then I am going to take and let me see. Let me see if I can do a little bit of this. I'm just going to experiment, and I've got paper towels, so if I don't like it, I can take it up. All right. So what I'm going to do to show you is take these two colors and put them here. A little bit more line. I want it to look translucent if possible. So put a little touch of the blue. Then I'm going to grab some more of the water because I want to make it really thin. Really, really thin. It's already got textile medium in it. That's why I like putting it in the cups before I start my painting. But then I can come in right here where I have the lines of the current that underwater, and I can put this like this, and just come along and highlight that edge of current. And see, by thinning it out, you want it translucent. You don't want it too bold. Let me do another one up here. I'm liking the way it looks, so I'm going to keep going. And since it is so watered down, it's very easy. And what I'm going to do is kind of pull it down so only a little bit comes down, but it'll help it blend instead of having such a solid line. You want it very ethereal, just barely there on that edge. So I think I like this. Well, now that I like it, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more here. I'm running out of that diluted paint. But, so that I think is a good way to give a little interest to the background without overdoing it. So, just put a little bit. There we go. What do you think? I think it gives it a little, because the water is not one monolith. All kinds of little things running through it. So, I think that'll do. Oh, wouldn't that be neat? Ah, to make it glisten. What a neat idea. And you know what I might do? I just thought of this. I'm glad Tony gave me that idea because I just thought about, let me pull this forward so we can push it back. Here we go. I like the idea that made me think about, how I mentioned the bubbles? What if I took a hot glue gun and I did little balls of hot glue on like a silicone sheet, then peeled them up and put a little row of bubbles. So I might try making my own bubbles. Oh, you are talented, Miss Joso. Did you not realize how excited I was about your whale quilt? Oh my gosh. You are something. So never underestimate. People always compare themselves to other people. And I could very easily compare myself, when I look at myself dancing with Mark and think, oh, if only. You know what? At some point, you just got to love yourself and know that, you're pretty darn spanky, just like you are. Because we all have gifts. They're just all in different areas. But we all have gifts. So, I forgot. I want to apologize to all of you too, because last week you're making cheese crackers. Oh, Mark loves that for a lunch or snack. I just wanted to tell you, I totally forgot last week. Let me come back to the mainframe. I totally forgot to do show and tell last week. I apologize. That's awful. I got off of it and I thought, well, oh, no, and some of y'all had sent me specific photographs. So I apologize now. We're going to go check them out. All right. All right. And you know what? I closed out. See, I was almost going to do it again. So I closed it out, but now I'm back with it. And let let me see, show and tell. Okay, so let's see who we're going to start with. Alberta, we saw that wonderful quilt she had, and don't want to miss anyone. Miss Bonnie. Miss Bonnie and Miss Susan have been busy. So the newest, you remember, let me just show you from last week too and bring this back over. I love this. This was a completion, a UFO done. And I think isn't that a wonderful, wonderful March, happy hurry up spring and come. Isn't that lovely? Just love it. And I love how she even worked in the pink because the shamrocks had a pink touch to it. Love the colors she chose here, so not everything is the same green. It gives visual interest. Love it. And then let me see. This is the back. Her trees that she said were crooked, but those trees are whatever she wants them to be because it's your quilt. You're doing the work. You're putting in the time. And here is a wonderful quilt. I love this best because of the vine fabric. It gives movement. Look at that. Every time I see it, I think the same thing. That quilt has a lot of interest. And then her newest thing, guess what? She is back to her amazing black work. I love it. Love it. Isn't that great? All right. So thank you, Miss Bonnie. Can't wait to see what you do next. But I'm noticing everyone has been getting back to work and producing wonderful things. And because I'm getting more photos from you. And I get so excited to see new photos. So here we have, oh, look at this project that Debbie's working on. Oh, Debbie, that's some gorgeous fabric there, girlfriend. Oh my goodness. I know you're not supposed to covet your neighbor's stuff, but that's pretty. This quilt pattern, I love them when they see how it kind of sparkles because she's done the different color placements. Love that. Great, great, great. Then here we go. Her stairway gallery for March. Isn't that great? Oh, this is a storm at sea pattern, and it works wonderful for good shamrock colors. Isn't that lovely? In fact, I told Mark now that medical stuff's done and the wedding's done, I got to get back to my Irish homestead quilt because she is just decorating that cottage, that dear little cottage too. Just perfection. Debbie, that is lovely, and I love the forsythia. The forsythia and daffodils are starting to bloom like mad. In fact, I have a star magnolia. It's blooming like mad. So I guess spring is going to come after all. So those were Debbie's. Then Dolores. Oh my gosh. Dolores is taking part in a block of the month. And before I show you, and she has these challenges. And I think it's like you work for a week and then take a break for a week, something like that. Or work 2 weeks and take a break for 2 weeks. Look at what she has used. This is one of those moths, the all white moths. Look how in the background it almost looks like a suede. It's got light quilting on it, and it says something in here too. Can't quite read it, but there's something written on that. Oh, so she's done writing everywhere. Nice, delicate writing. But look at the lace used to make the moth's wings. And then look at this bit of fur to make the moth's body and head. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, and that's not it, because with Dolores, she does things in a big way. Look at this precious artwork she did. So this challenge, I tell you what, I have to tell you, taking signing up for a challenge is a commitment, but you can learn and stretch and grow when you are forced to get out and try something like this. So I love this. Look at this. Is that gorgeous? Look at all. Now, I'm wondering, are those fabrics or did she paint them? But it is absolutely beautiful. And look how she quilted. She quilted like a fireworks. So it echoes the energy that this horse is giving off. Isn't that amazing? I just love it. So she's very, very talented. So now I need to run back the other way. I know I'm supposed to. My computer only has a certain amount of space, but this fox was so amazing. I haven't been able to bring myself to delete it. I mean, is that incredible? Our Dolores is our resident artist. Now look at this. I absolutely adore Art Deco. I adored Art Deco, and this just does it for me. Isn't it beautiful with her Chrysler style buildings in the background? Look at that wonderful, sinewy, Egyptian looking almost cat. Because remember, during the Art Deco period, they were very much into signs and symbols and Egyptianology. That was when King Tut was found and people were all in the rage. But is that absolutely gorgeous? So I love the mosaic style, and it looks like she might have used a satin stitch in between all of her mosaic pieces. But that is, pardon me, that is phenomenal. And this one tickled my heart. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This was part of she has a friend who participates in the Cherrywood Challenge. This dear friend, loving and knowing how talented Dolores was, gave her some cherrywood fabric so that she could try her hand at making something. Isn't that amazing? And I love, looks like the poor little bunny had a boo-boo, and so there's a little zigzag stitches stitching him up. Here's a little patch here. But look at that. Isn't she just amazing? I love this. And that cherrywood fabric is worth every penny. That is gorgeous. So thank you, Miss Dolores, for sending those. I'm sorry it took me an extra week to get them on, but what a collection. Well worth the wait, I would say. I don't think, do I have anything in here? Oh, yes, I do have a few things. Well, you know that my granddaughter is studying cosmetology in college and loving it, feels like she has found herself, loves what she's doing. All right. So now, let me see. Oh, I just saw this and thought, I want to do something like that. That's a nice one too. Um, and I love this. I love color wash quilts. And this is an interesting way to do one. I love the blending of the colors. So anytime I see something I like, I put it into my idea folder. So my Katie came up, and she came up this weekend to be at her sister's wedding. And she had had one of her ewes gave birth to this little black natural, they call him natural color ram lamb. He had a sister, but unfortunately she didn't make it. But look at this fellow. Isn't he cute? And she has two more lambs on um, lamb watch. She has two more ewes, pardon me, that are on lamb watch. So I thought you might like to see this picture of this little fellow. So cute. This is my daughter Becky, the one that just got married, and that's what Charlie, her daughter, did to her hair. And I think it's absolutely lovely. There she is. and the decorations. I was going to show you all this before the wedding. Anyway, one of the days after my procedure, I was feeling a little punky. And guess what? Mark made some tortilla soup. And that does the trick. I swear to it, I think it's just almost as good for you as penicillin. So this was absolutely wonderful. I mean, he was in that kitchen like a magician, cutting peppers and onions and garlic and you name it, you know. So poblano pepper, 3 different colors of peppers. And oh my gosh, it was so, so good. So we have plenty in the freezer, so I will be enjoying it for a bit longer. Isn't that wonderful? When you're not feeling good, Alice in Wonderland. Oh, yeah, it did look like that. When you're not feeling good, it's awfully nice to have a good bowl of chicken soup and loaded with vitamin C. All right. Then this is my daughter's house. You know, a week or 2 weeks, week and a half ago, they had another round of a blast that the weather spun and turned back towards the coast. And this is what happened then. So, and every time her husband is in charge of the maintenance fleet of um, public works trucks. So he has to go in and stay the whole time in case anything needs to be fixed. That's a real pain. But okay. And just because Miss Joso said she wasn't talented, I'm going to show her stuff again. That's it. I'm doing it because she is talented. Remember, she's a pretty young quilter. Come on. There. Look at this. You can't be not talented and do this. That is lovely. This is what you get, Miss Joe. Then I want everybody to say, yeah, you are very talented. Tumbling blocks is not an easy one because you've got to get the color and the layers to get that wonderful three-dimensional. I mean, wow. So that's great. Yes, because Katie's on the East Coast and that the storm front circled in from the ocean and it always hits you with heavy wet snow. All right, look at this. This is the quilt that Miss Joe designed herself on a brand new copy of EQ8. Yeah, because I'm proving to everybody, you're wrong, Miss Joe. You are talented. So look at that. Isn't that wonderful? She's talented and she also exercises. I've got some talent, but I don't exercise, and that's my downfall. But Miss Joe is something else. All right. Now, let's see who is next. Miss Mary. She sent me some things, and I'm going to show you I'm going to go down the line, I think just about everything. Now, some of this one I think I have shown you a couple times. I love the woven quilts. They are fascinating. Any 3D gets me excited. Oh, this is her new one that she's been working on. And I love the snow globe fabric. Oh, that's nice. Now that, I wonder if that's one of the flannel quilts that you trim the edges and it makes a fuzzy one. But that's lovely and it looks like it would be so warm for Christmas. I love the striped banded border of red and gold. Love it. Looks like a ribbon. Love it. Here's oh, she used dryer sheets to make a quilt with the indigo fabric that she got from me a couple years ago because I love dyeing indigo. I'm going to do it again this summer too. Beautiful spring bulbs just pushing through. Don't you love it? And oh, look at this tree budding up. That's going to be amazing. I'm wondering, is it a type of cherry? It looks like a cherry. You can always tell cherry because their bark looks tight. See all these little dots and it looks tight. And that's how I identify a cherry. Plus, their leaves are often heavily veined, so they're kind of got ribby looking, you know. Isn't that beautiful? That is going to be magnificent. Oh, look, this looks like an apple. I don't know. Maybe Mary can tell us. That is beautiful, hon. And here's what she made with my indigo dyed fabric. I was blown away because she took my simple indigo fabric and elevated it to a whole new art form. This almost has an Asian look to it. It's sophisticated with those flowers. Look at all the pieces of the flowers. It's a plum tree. Ah, thank you, Mary. And look at those flowers. And then she did shark tooth border. Is that cool or what? And you know what? Blue and yellow quilt is timeless and classic. It is just beautiful. So, Mary, I give you this week's amazing award. That's amazing. So I am going to be dyeing some new indigo. When I saw this, I thought, oh, I've got to make more. Think I'm out of it now. But look at that. Isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh, it looks like I think she stuffed the little flower bud here. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So let's see. And and this was her string quilt. So Mary, thank you for sending us those. And everybody is kind of just like spring is awakening. People are awakening to come back to their their favorite things to do. This is Mare's. Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, having two little grandsons, is that awesome? And your machine embroidery is incredible. Way to go. I don't even know how to do machine embroidery. This is beautiful. So I don't know if it's going to be a book or a quilt. It is awesome. Or if it's going to be even a play set. I'm not sure. But isn't that cool? And I don't know how in the world do you place it when it goes into 2 pages. Wow. So I'm very, very impressed. Very impressed. So thank you so much, Mayor, for sending those. All right, now let's see. I'm going to go back to, and oh, I just wanted to send out a hello to Meltem. I've been thinking about her. I sent an email to Bibi, who is Iranian. I'm hoping she's back in Turkey, but she did visit Iran a few months ago. But I worry about her very much. And let me see, what was Miss Polly's? Oh, yes, her wonderful 9-patch shadow quilt. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, and Miss Polly, if she's here. I don't know if I saw her here. But um, the last homely house with Kate Jackson, she got herself an Ashford loom, and she's been weaving. And how exciting is that? Oh, and then Susan, our Susan girl, has been working, and I love these owls. That is so, so cute. So I wanted to make sure I covered her photo in here also. So I think that's the end of our show and tell for this week. Let me come back to the main camera, although that's a pretty blue. So we are done. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for listening to me going on and on about my daughter's wedding. But any of you who have children, especially when they go through a divorce and finding themselves again, and then when they meet the right person, it's heaven. I now sleep much easier because I always knew she had so much to offer, and it was like, could she please find the right person? So I couldn't be more proud of her, and now it's time for me to take a nap. So frustrating. I used to have energy to spare. Oh well. So, everyone, thank you. Oh, Marsha, you're just being the sweetest thing. We missed Marsha last week. I meant to write her, but then with the having to go back to the doctor and stuff, it slipped my mind. But we love our Marsha, and we thank Miss Jo Shows for being today's moderators. Y'all are wonderful. Oh, yeah. Oh, you'll hear all about the wedding. I took more and gathered more pictures. When I told everybody, my ladies want to see pictures of the wedding, my daughter was giving me pictures, my son's sending pictures, everybody's making sure I had pictures. Mark even he took a lot at the wedding because he knew I wanted to show y'all. So you've been hearing it long enough. And can you believe I got, for the first time in my life, got a wedding quilt done before the wedding. I'm so proud. So you can teach an old dog new tricks. All right, everyone. Y'all are so wonderful. Thank you for joining me today. I am going to go upstairs and get in my chair and get a good snack and watch some YouTube videos because I've got several brand new videos from different people that I need to watch. Oh, and if you've ever wanted to know more about Irish Homestead, they've got a great new Irish Homestead that came out yesterday. So it's just a good time to just go look up the Irish Homestead and look at their latest one because she's about finished with the inside of that house and they're already outside making amazing gardens. So what a nice family. All righty. Will you take good care of yourself? Do something good just for you. I'm going to try to find a movie to go see because I have a real hankering for a big old bucket of popcorn. So I might be watching the latest Disney or Pixar movie because I'm not going to go see anything scary. Oh no. Every day I turn on the news, that's scary enough. Everyone hold together tightly. We're going to get through this. I promise. We're going to get through it. Okay? And then we've got some rebuilding to do, but we can do it. We're Americans. Okay? Take good care of yourself this week and let me know what you're working on. Take care. Thank you so much for being here for me. I'm a very lucky person. Bye-bye, everybody.